Please listen to this video to the end. I know many of you will be very surprised to see me dressed like this. This shirt is about 25 years old with this collar. This was what I wore the day I was ordained as a clergyman by Bishop B.C. Edo Hassim of the Church of God Mission International Incorporated at number 39, Umuola Road, Ogbo Hill, Aba. The message today is on when you are married to a highly motivated wife or a strong wife. The tendency of women is to control men. The tendency. And that's one of the reasons we have conflict. That passage that says, your desire shall be for your husband, and he will rule over thee. The real interpretation is that your desire is to rule over your husband, but your husband must rule over you. Because it was the lack of authority of Adam that made Eve to put us into all this trouble. If Adam had rebuked Eve, told her not to eat the fruit, and drove the devil away and stopped that discussion, and told Eve, let's wait for God, we wouldn't be where we are. And you will notice these highly motivated women all over the Bible, from the daughters of Zelophehad to Moses' mother, to Sarah, to the daughters of Lot, and the wife of David, and all that. Highly motivated women. But you see, you can harness this motivation like the virtuous woman. You can harness her motivation and build a strong family. We had a lot of challenges before we got married, and those challenges were financial. I was a squatter, I was homeless, I was living with people when I was in medical school because my parents had gone to the village and I didn't have any relative I could live with. So I was living with my classmates and by extension, all his friends. In fact, I used to borrow clothes to wear. I borrowed clothes for matriculation. I borrowed clothes. I couldn't go for convocation because I didn't have the fare to go to Ibadan from Benin. So we had great challenges. In fact, though I spent 3,100 naira then, which is equivalent to several millions of naira today, because the dollar was 50 kobo to the naira when I got married, I single-handedly did all that. My brothers didn't come for my marriage because they were not expecting me to get married at that age. And so I paid for everything. Those we expected to have contributed were handicapped because we were all growing up and you can't blame them. And the challenge we passed through, we bought the drinks we used for our marriage on credit. And I had to pay before taking my wife back to Aba. We got to Aba in December, and we had to eat the soup I cooked in November that was inside the freezer. And my wife would sleep on the bed. I would sleep on the floor because she was pregnant, and it was a 6-spring bed. So these hardships we passed through motivated my wife so much that she named her eldest son, the first child, a Mobo son, meaning another man. Your own is different, independence. So there was this motivation. She wanted to do everything to break this yoke of poverty. So she was working as a nurse. She was selling secondhand clothing. She wanted to do many things. And she didn't have time for romance. And it was breeding strife. And we were fighting in the beginning, first 5 years. So when you see all these things and you see all these billboards with husband and wife, it's not all of them that started nicely. We started roughly, an unusual marriage, but I made a vow that this marriage must work. It must not be like that of my father and my mother. It must not be like that of my elder brothers. This marriage must work. And how did God help me? Number one, God told me I should see my wife as a friend, not as a woman. See her as a partner. I should respect her as I will respect a male friend. Because my wife is like 7 women in one woman. On her 50th birthday, I asked my children, what do we give to your mother? My youngest boy said that we should give her sleeping medicine so that she could sleep. That's to show the energy. If I start walking with her in the morning, I will collapse and she will still be walking. So most of what we have today came from the fact that the grace of God, then the wisdom God gave to me, I created space for her, gave her the privileges to live her life to the fullness, to maximize resources. I used to bring any money I got from preaching and wherever, I would give to her. She would deploy into buildings. She built all the buildings we own, apart from the one I'm building at Efronto. You see, when women have these energies in them and they are pushing you as a husband and you are being slow, you are being sluggish, they get irritated, they get frustrated, they bang doors. This energy is in womanhood. And so I allowed my wife to liberate her energy. So she paid school fees for my eldest son in dollars. When I was preaching in Kano, she did not inform me. It was when I came back, she told me. One day, she most of the cars I was driving, apart from these Mercedes and the other ones, she bought most of them. I don't question her. She became very independent. And that independence and energy has taken us to this level. The question is, what if she abuses the privilege? Number one, I told myself the children are mine. Are ours, but they answer my name. And they will be apokis. What if she and the children gangs up against me? I have told myself that, I've told them too, that if they drive me from this house one day, I will go and do Thanksgiving. Because I have developed myself. I am so enterprising and productive. I have written more than 40 books. I have 35 of them that I have not published. And if I invest a certain amount of money, I am going to get about 140 million from the books. Those books have published them, but they are finished, and I need to reprint them. I will get about 140 million from them. So I have enough to keep me going. And they know it. She went somewhere to buy water for the household with her driver. And a man saw, they introduced her as Mrs. Apoki. He says, is he your husband that preaches on radio? That man, if we pastors, if he has a church, we will come to his church. But he doesn't run a church because we need to learn from him. She came and she was happy. So that is, the point is that I have excelled. When you have a hard-working wife, don't be a sluggard. Don't be sluggish. Don't be a cripple. Don't be a what Benin people call ozon. Igbos call onyongworo. Don't irritate her by your sluggishness, and by particularly those of you who are very spiritual and scriptural and waiting upon the Lord. Do you wait upon the Lord before you get her pregnant? Boy, stand up and do something. And so if she's so enterprising, you are lazy, she might not even bring out money. So I have excelled in my own way and proven myself to be a man and have been responsible. Today they needed solar energy here, and the old batteries are bad. She initiated the process of buying the solar batteries. She paid in some initial amount, and I've added money to it to complete it without consulting her. She respects me because of that. Let there be a balance. When you have a strong woman, don't pull her down. Become a strong man. Give her opportunities to excel. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. In the next video, I'm going to talk to women about when you are married to a lazy man. There are many men who are lazy, particularly religious men. And you can join my WhatsApp mentorship group by sending a message to +234 7052136763. God bless you.